Good morning. Good morning. Shilpa, good morning. Hemalata, am I audible and visible? Okay. Yeah, let some more people join in and then I'll begin. Let some more people begin and then I'll let some more people join in and then I'll begin. I was about to ask you. Yeah, let some more people join in. Am I audible and visible? Once again. Okay. Good morning once again. Yesterday, because of some technical glitch, we could not have this class. So I'll be beginning today. Hopefully, everything should go smoothly today. Now, last weekend, I had covered a few topics regarding art and culture. We finished with religious movements like Buddhism, Jainism, Bhagavatism, and Shaivism. And then I started with Indian art and architecture. And I covered the architecture of the ancient period. Okay, thank you, Shreya. There is no background sound, right? There's no background sound. Everything is coming. Everything is smooth. Okay. So last weekend I covered ancient Indian architecture. We started with the Harappan civilization, but Harappan civilization had covered in a broad manner when I did ancient India. So then we started with Mauryan art. Mauryan art. Just to recap quickly, Mauryan art is divided into court art and popular art. Court art. Under court art, we covered Mauryan palaces, stupas, pillars, and viharas. So, I repeat, we covered palaces, stupas, pillars, and viharas. And the popular art is, of course, the art of the people, where people, including merchant guilds, collected money and installed images or idols. Then we came to post-Maurya period. In post-Maurya period, we discussed about Chaityas, and I gave you a timeline as regards development of rock architecture in India, right, from the Mauryan period onwards till the end of the Rashtrakuta period. Then we discussed about Gandhara, Mathura, Amaravati schools of art. Gandhara, Mathura, and Amaravati schools of art. And then we came to the Gupta period. In the Gupta period, we have the development of three forms of temple architecture. North Indian style is called Nagara, South Indian style is called Dravida, and a combination of these two, North Indian Nagara and South Indian Dravida, is called Vesara. So we looked at the standard features of a Nagara temple and then sub-schools of Nagara styles. Sub-schools of Nagara temple architecture found in Orissa, Madhya Pradesh, and Gujarat, Rajasthan. Then we discussed the Dravida style temples, beginning with the Pallavas. Then we went to the Cholas. So the foundation of Dravida style was laid by the Pallavas. Then all the features of Dravida style are found in Chola period temples. And then we have other South Indian dynasties who added some extra elements to Dravida temple architecture, like the Vijayanagar kings. Then we looked at the Nayakas who added thousand pillared halls, etc. We also looked at Vesara style of temples, which was developed by the Chalukyas of Badami. Then the same style was followed by the Rashtrakutas, the Kalyana Chalukyas, and the Hoysalas. And Hoysalas we discussed in detail. Uh, uh, Three Hoysala temples have been included in the UNESCO World Heritage List. at Belur, Halebid, Somnathpur. So their temples are in the form of a star, asterisk plan. So we have discussed that. So I have pretty much covered ancient Indian architecture in detail. Vijayanagara style, Nayaka style, Rashtrakutas, Hoysalas, etc. It'll be notified, Usna. Morning classes, I have some pending topics. That will be notified in due course. Yeah, beautiful Nandi of Hoysalas. Yeah, we have discussed all these things. Now let us come to Indo-Islamic architecture. Let us come to medieval Indian architecture. So today I'll finish medieval Indian architecture, then modern Indian architecture. We will discuss that, and then we look at other topics like dance, literature, philosophy, etc. Can we start, all of you? Can we start? So here, Indo-Islamic architecture. Now, now look here. When we talk about the um, Indo-Islamic architecture or medieval architecture, so when we talk about medieval architecture, you need to understand a few aspects. You see, when was the Delhi Sultanate established? 1206. 1206, the Delhi Sultanate was established. It lasted till 1526 under five dynasties. The Delhi Sultanate lasted for 320 years under five dynasties. And the first four dynasties were of Turkish race. They were all Turks. They were of Turkish race. And initially, when they came, when the Turks came, they came to loot and plunder. Basically, they came to loot and plunder. They did not belong. They did not come along with architects, engineers, masons, etc. They came to loot and plunder basically. And but then they were following Islam. They were Muslims, and they had to follow the tenets of the religion, follow the rules of the religion. And their religion demanded they pray 5 times in a day. They were supposed to pray 5 times in a day. 5 times in a day they had to pray. And one time, that is on a Friday, they had to compulsory go to a mosque, what is called Jummah Day. So Friday it is compulsory for Muslims to go and pray in the mosque. But having come to India, they noticed that there were no mosques here in North India. The earliest mosque was established by the Arabs, for your information, in Kerala, the Cheruman Juma. The Cheruman Juma is the oldest mosque in India. It is in Kerala. It was established by the Arabs. And it is the Arabs who introduced Islam into this country. So they used to come to trade, pick up spices, cotton textiles, etc. So it was the Arabs who introduced Islam on the Kerala coast in India for the first time. So this is the earliest mosque in India, the Cheruman Juma in Kerala. However, you need to understand that there were no mosques in North India. So what did the Turks do? The Turks, in order to fulfill the tenets of the religion, engaged in whole-scale destruction of Hindu and Jain temples. So either Hindu or Jain temples were demolished. So Hindu and Jain temples either were demolished or you have alterations made to them. Alterations made to them. And out of the rubble which they found, once they demolished Hindu and Jain temples, they collected the rubble, that is the mud, bricks, etc. And with that, they set up a mosque. With that, they built a mosque. Right. And what did they do? They employed Hindu masons. Understand this? They employed Hindu masons to do that job for them. Because they had, as I told you, had not come with architects, engineers, masons. So they had to hire the local artisans, the Hindu masons, to build a mosque. Right. So what we notice is initial stages. Yeah. Good morning, Jia. Initial stages, we have a mingling of Islamic and Hindu elements. Indian and Islamic elements in architecture. For example, understand this, just a broad picture I'm giving you. Now, Indians were used to the Trabeate system. Indians were used to the Trabeate system. What is Trabeate? Trabeate system of architecture. Trabeate is, they used to install pillars. Understand this? Indians used to install pillars, and then you have beams. So pillars were used to support the roof, and then to bridge the gap between two pillars and also support the roof, you have a beam. So this is called slab and beam method. This is called slab and beam method. Slab and beam method. Slab and beam method. So Indians were familiar with this. This is called Trabeate system. Now, so Indians were familiar, and to bridge the gap between two pillars, they will put up a wall. To bridge the gap between two pillars, they'll put up a wall like this. So these are the bricks, right, or stones. So this is called Trabeate system. So entire weight is taken by the pillars, and to support the roof, you have a beam put. Now, what the Turks did is they introduced the arch and the dome. They introduced the arch. They introduced the arch and the dome. They introduced the arch and the dome. Excuse my drawing here. Okay, so they introduced the arch and the dome. And once they came to India, they mixed both these elements. They borrowed the Trabeate system from the Indians, and this is called arcuate system. Arch and dome is called arcuate. So Trabeate and arcuate were mixed up into in a very pleasing manner. In a very pleasing manner, the Trabeate arcuate system were mixed up. That's called Trabeate arcuate. Trabeate arcuate. So this was beautifully mixed. Now in West Asia, Central Asia, West Asia, wherever the Turks came from, they never used to use stones. Dressed stone was not used. In fact, they used to use rubble. They used to use rubble, bricks, etc. Now, once they came to India, the Turks began to use dressed stone. So they borrowed the idea of using dressed stone from the Hindu artisans. So they began to use dressed stone. Thirdly, um, you have Islam doesn't allow depiction of animals, humans, birds, etc. on their buildings. So Islam doesn't allow the depiction of animals, humans on their buildings. So to beautify their buildings, to embellish their buildings, we have new design elements which were adopted by the Turks. Like, for example, calligraphy. Calligraphy was used. What is calligraphy? Some verses were taken from the Holy Quran. That is, some lines were taken from the Holy Quran. And the Holy Quran is written in Arabic language. In Arabic language looks beautiful, to see. So these verses were written or inscribed on the walls of their buildings. That's called calligraphy. Fourthly, they used, arabesque. They used arabesque. What is arabesque? See, you have, for example, you have a plant, okay, a stem of a plant like this, right? Then, so this itself has intersecting stems going all the way, throughout the building. This is called arabesque. So they began to use arabesque. Then they used jali. Jali is perforated windows. They used jali. What is jali? Perforated windows. So they combined the Trabeate and the arcuate, that is the slab and the beam method, with the arch and the dome method. They used dressed stone. They used calligraphy. That is, I told you, verses from the Holy Quran were inscribed on the walls of their buildings. Then they use arabesque, jali, perforated windows, scientific formulae. So scientific formulae, and of course, they were ready for experimentation. So they experimented with many design styles. So they were ready for experimentation. So they experimented with a number of styles, with a number of styles. Rubble is, Hemlata, rubble is, when you demolish, when you demolish a particular building, you get all those rubble which falls down, mud and dust and bricks, pieces of stones, bricks, mud, sand. That's called rubble. You just Google, you'll understand. Yes, Trebiat is slab and beam. Arcuate is arch and dome. Did you understand? Now, hello, are you there with me? So the Turks introduced all these features in their buildings. And one more thing you need to understand: since it was the Hindu mason who was ordered to build an arch or a dome, the Hindu mason had to fulfill the desire of the Sultan, and he did not know how to make an arch. But then he had to do it; otherwise, his head may be cut off. So therefore, the Hindu mason ran his brains. He ran his brains, and he made an arch something like this. Look here, very interesting. So initially, what I'm trying to tell you is we have a mingling of Hindu and Islamic elements. You see here, when a Hindu mason was asked to build an arch, he could not build an arch like this. He could not make an arch like this. A conventional arch will look like this, isn't it? A conventional arch will look like this. This is an arch, right? It looks something like this. Just hold on. So an arch might look like that, but the Hindu mason did not know how to make an arch. So how did he make an arch initially? He, when he was ordered to make an arch, made an arch like this. Look here on your screen. This is called a corbelled arch. Look here on your screen. This is called a corbelled arch. So something like an arch or which mimics an arch. Corbelled arch. So Sultan is telling him, you better make an arch, otherwise I'll cut off your head. So poor Hindu mason, he made something like an arch. And the Sultan, let him go. Did not spared his life because he has made some sincere efforts to make an arch. This is called a corbelled arch. Are you there with me? Are you able to hear me? Corbelled arch. Okay. Then, when he was asked to make a dome, so he could not make a dome like this. How does a Muslim dome look like? As I have shown you earlier, I'll draw another picture here. So he did not know how to make a conventional dome. So when he was asked to make a dome, then he made a dome like this. So you have the Hindu mason or the Buddhist mason who knew how to make a stupa. So when he was asked to make a dome, he made a dome like a stupa, like this, like a stupa. This is the picture of a stupa, right? And then he put one in a Muslim dome. You have a spike on top. You have a spike on top with a half moon, a crescent. So here, because of the Hindu mason who has built a dome, he put a kalash. He put a kalash on top, or he put a lotus flower. Either he put a lotus flower on top of the mosque, or he put a kalash. Did you understand? So these are some of the uh, what do you call synthesis, Hindu and Islamic elements mingling together in the initial stages. When the Turks came here, and why did they engage in demolishing Hindu temples and Jain temples all over North India? We see this. As I told you, they had to fulfill the tenets of the religion. But then, while trying to do that, they heard the religious sentiments of the Indians. They heard the religious sentiments of the Indians, um, uh, and that led to a certain amount of animosity or dislike, hatred against the Muslims, because the religious sentiments of the Hindus or the Jains had been hurt. So once the Turks established themselves here, consolidated their position in this country, and became part of this country, they, to a large extent, um, began to build independent structures, and they, gave up demolishing buildings. Right? Initially, they did demolish. So this is the introduction to this topic. So we study about the Indo-Islamic architecture in three phases. I'll give you some points. Just write down. In three phases, we study about the development of Indo-Islamic architecture, and then, of course, Muslim architecture is divided into religious and secular. Okay, so this is the introduction to this topic. Take a small note. Take a small note, please, all of you. Take down. Indo-Islamic architecture. Indo-Islamic architecture is divided into three phases. Indo-Islamic architecture. Indo-Islamic architecture is divided into three phases. Vaibhav, good morning. So what are the three phases? Number one, phase one. Take down. Phase one. Phase one. 1100 to 1400 AD. So 1100 to 1400 AD. Monuments of early Turkish. Monuments of early Turkish and Afghan sultans. Monuments of early Turkish and Afghan sultans. This is phase one. Then we come to phase two. Phase two. This is from 1316. So wait. This is called provincial style. This is called provincial style. This is from 1316 to 1526. 1316 to 1526. So then you take down. Began with the death of Alauddin Khalji. Hello, are you taking down, all of you? Began with the death of Alauddin Khalji. Provincial style. Thank you. So began with the death of Alauddin Khalji. So Alauddin Khalji began with the death of Alauddin Khalji in 1316. So he died in 1316. So began with the death of Alauddin Khalji in 1316, when the central power became weak. I'll write the keyword, central power became weak. And the governors in the provinces became almost independent. And governors in the provinces became almost independent. Governors in the provinces almost became independent. Okay, so provincial style began with the death of Alauddin Khilji in 1316, when the central power became weak and the governors in the provinces became almost independent. This is phase 2. Then phase 3. Phase 3. Phase 3 is Mughal period. Mughals. Period of Mughals. Mughals. Right. Mughal period. Mughal period. Right. Mughal period. Okay. Now, next paragraph. The architecture of the Muslims, then you write down, architecture of the Muslims can be divided into two conventional types. Architecture of the Muslims can be divided into two conventional types. Two conventional types. Number one, religious. Yeah, fine, Madhuri. So the architecture of the Muslims may be divided into two conventional types. Number one, religious. Under religious, we have mosques. That is, we have mosques, what is called masjid, and tombs, makbara. And number two, secular. Under secular, we have palaces, fortresses, city gates, gardens, and houses. So I repeat, the architecture of the Muslims may be divided into two conventional types, religious and secular. Religious, mosques, that is masjid, and tombs, makbara, MAQBARA. And number two, secular. Under that, we have palaces, fortresses, city gates, gardens, and houses. Yes, Vaibhav, I will. Yeah, Makbara is a tomb. Yes, Kennedy. Makbara is a tomb. Done? All of you done? Okay. Now, on your screen, you can see here. So we have Muslims introducing all these things as part of architecture. Muslims, as you can see here, arches, true arch principles, minarets, minars. So in the four corners, we have four minars, right? So that was introduced by the Muslims. Four corners, we have four minars. Like, for example, in the Taj, we have four minars on the four corners, minarets. So this is the dome, like this. You have one pillar here, one tower here, and one tower here. So these are called minarets. Then scientific formulae. Then mortar has a cementing agent, that is superior binding medium, something like a cement, but not exactly cement. Mortar is something which sticks, which holds the stones and bricks together. Mortar. Then artistic calligraphy. I've already told you what is calligraphy. Jali work. So these are all introduced by the Muslims. So Charminar is more of a gateway, Dinesh. Charminar is more of a gateway. Yeah, minarets are independent. Minarets are independent structures. Four corners, we have four minarets. So if you look at the screen in front of you, we have a masjid, the elements of a mosque. So we have a mimbar, pulpit. We have a pulpit. What's a pulpit? Pulpit is where the Maulvi, he stands in the pulpit and calls the faithful to prayer. He calls the faithful to prayer by standing in the pulpit, right? I believe nowadays you have a mic, so therefore he is able to reach a larger audience. But then during the time of Prophet Muhammad, I believe the Maulvi would stand on the topmost sand dune in the desert, okay, and then he'll call the faithful to prayer. So that's called a mimbar, pulpit. Then mihrab, prayer niche. That is called a mihrab. As you can see here on your screen, this is a mihrab. So Muslims, they face west. They face west and pray. Why do they face west and pray? I'm sure all of you know this. Mihrab is facing west. You have a prayer niche. That's called a prayer niche. So why do they face Makkah? So the holy Makkah, that is a finial, Hemlata, top of the masjid. That is something like that's a pointed, that's a spike. And top of the spike you have a crescent, right? So that's called a finial. Yeah, Makkah, Medina in that direction. Very good. Thank you. Then Livan is a prayer hall. Livan is a prayer hall. Then house is a tank. So Muslims are supposed to clean themselves. So yeah, in conventional mosques, old mosques, you have tanks, something like a kalyani in a South Indian temple. So Muslims are supposed to wash their feet, mouth, face, behind their arms, then clean their ears, mouth, etc. Then only they are supposed to enter the holy precincts of the mosque for prayers. Nowadays we have taps. So many of the mosques, if they don't have a tank, they have a tap, and then the Muslims are supposed to clean themselves there and then enter the holy precincts of the mosque. Scene is a courtyard, and of course, rivak are arcade and cloisters. So whatever you see here is the cross section of a dome, and minaret is there. You can see here minaret. Minaret is a minar, a tower, right? Now we'll come back here. Now we'll let us talk about the architecture of the Delhi Sultans, right? We have the imperial style under the slave dynasty, the Khaljis, the Tughlaqs, and the Lodhis. So, so keep whatever is not there in the PPT, I will be discussing that also. So keep writing, uh, keep a pen and paper with you ready, and keep writing. So we'll come back here. Now, let us come to the slave dynasty. So, who are the important slave kings? You know that four of them are important. We have Qutbuddin Aibak, Iltutmish, Razia, and Balban. These are the four important kings of the slave dynasty, isn't it? Qutbuddin Aibak, Iltutmish, Razia, and Balban. Now, first of all, let us talk about important monuments belonging to the slave or the Ilbari Turks. The earliest building, which was built by the Turks during the time of Qutbuddin Aibak, was the Quwwatul Islam Mosque. So please take down the Quwwatul Islam Mosque. Quwwatul Islam literally means might of Islam. So Quwwatul Islam Mosque, that is the might of Islam. It is called might of Islam. So this was a mosque, Quwwatul Islam Mosque. This was built at Delhi. It was erected by Qutbuddin Aibak. It was erected by Aibak, Qutbuddin Aibak, in 1197. He erected this mosque in 1197. This is the first building erected by Qutbuddin Aibak. First building erected by him. So, Might of Islam Mosque. First building erected by Aibak. And this building, the Quwwatul Islam Mosque, was built out of the remains of 27 Hindu and Jain temples. 27 Hindu 27 Hindu and Jain temples were demolished. 27 Hindu and Jain temples were demolished. And from that rubble, that is rubble is consists of bricks, mud, etc., one mosque was constructed. So this is the first building erected by Qutbuddin Aibak, the Quwwatul Islam Mosque at Delhi. Then similarly, we have another mosque which was again built during the time of Aibak, that is the Adai Din Ka Jhopra. So that is called the Might of Islam, Quwwatul Islam Mosque. Then we have the second mosque which was built at Ajmer, the Adai Din Ka Jhopra. Adai Din Ka Jhopra. So this was built at Ajmer in Rajasthan in 1200. Again, the time of Aibak. Adai Din Ka Jhopra. So this was a mosque supposedly built in 2.5 days. Adai Din means a mosque built in 2.5 days, 2.5 days. A mosque built in 2.5 days. Again, from the spoils of Hindu temples. This was built from the spoils or of Hindu temples. And this again belongs to the period of Aibak, Qutbuddin Aibak. So as you all know, Ghori sent two officers, isn't it? One was Qutbuddin Aibak, the other was Bakhtiyar Khalji. And the aim of Ghori was to spread Islam in India. Aim of Ghori was to spread Islam in India. And obviously, as I told you, when they came here, they did not come with architects, engineers, masons. So for them to build independent structures, so they caught hold of Hindu masons. After demolishing Hindu and Jain temples out of the rubble, they ordered the Hindu mason to build a mosque. So this is Quwwatul Islam Mosque, Adai Din Ka Jhopra at Ajmer. Then, of course, we come to the Qutub Minar. On your screen, Qutub Minar. So as you all know, the Qutub Minar was built by, who built the Qutub Minar? The Qutub Minar was built by Iltutmish. Very good. So the foundation was laid by, I'll come back here. The foundation was laid by so the foundation, so the Qutub Minar, so foundation was laid by Aibak, Q Aibak. He laid the foundation and it was completed by Iltutmish. So the construction began in 1197. Construction began in 1197 and it was completed in 1232. So it took 35 years to build this. It has taken 35 years to build this. Foundation was laid by Aibak and completed by Iltutmish, 1197 to 1232. Twelve 32, 1197 to 1232. So foundation was laid by Aibak and completed by Iltutmish. What was the purpose of the Qutub Minar? Anybody? Do you know the purpose of the Qutub Minar? Why the Qutub Minar was built? No one? Nakshatra. What is Nakshatra, Hemlata? Okay, it doesn't matter. Now the aim of the reason. Yeah, very good, Jia. Not watch in the sky. No, 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 no. Hemlata gives a very interesting explanation, but that is very, no, that was not the reason. Reason is given by Jia. That is for the Maulvi to call the faithful to prayer. So it was meant for the Maulvi, the Muezzin, to call the faithful to prayer. So you have a Muezzin. Muezzin is the Maulvi. So every mosque has a Maulvi. So what does he do? He is supposed to climb up the pulpit and call the faithful to prayer. He calls that. There's a slogan, isn't it? Allahu Akbar. What is he saying? It's time for prayers. Please come to pray. So it was meant for the Maulvi to climb the minar to call the faithful to prayer. But then please understand, the Qutub Minar is the tallest stone tower in India. It is 73 meters in height. Tallest stone tower in India. Tallest stone tower. And imagine what is the height of this building? 73 meters. So imagine the Maulvi has to climb 5 times up and 5 times down to call the faithful to prayer. So he would have been, he would have had the legs of an Olympian by the time, if he does this for 1 year. So not easy. So therefore, later the tower was converted into Victory Tower. The Qutub Minar was converted into Jayastamba, Victory Tower. So initially, it was meant for the Maulvi to call the faithful to prayer. Later, it was converted into Victory Tower. Right. So it was converted into Victory Tower, highest stone tower in India, 73 meters in height. And as you all know, the foundation was laid by Aibak, completed by Iltutmish. It had originally 4 stories. Originally, it had 4 stories. Then, during the time of Firuz Shah Tughlaq, there was a lightning strike. The 4th story was struck by lightning, and it was repaired, and a 5th story was added by Firuz Shah Tughlaq. So, fifth story added by Firuz Tughlaq. It was added by Firuz Tughlaq. Now, the first 3 stories have alternate flute and flanges. You can see this design here on your screen. Just hold on. So this is called alternate flute and flanges on your screen. You look at that design. This design is called alternate flute and flanges. Flute and flanges. And it is made of red sandstone. It is made of red sandstone. So the first 3 stories, please understand, the first 3 stories are made of red sandstone. They are made of red sandstone. And the last two stories, that is the 4th and the 5th, the last 2 stories are made of marble. The last 2 stories are made of marble, and they are devoid of that flute and flanges design. They are round in shape. They are circular in shape without flute and flanges. Are you there with me? So this is the Qutub Minar. So I've given an explanation here. So upper 2 stories is round rather than with alternating flute and flanges. Clear? So this is Qutub Minar for you. Then we have another building. Just hold on. Yeah. So this is about the Qutub Minar. Then we have Adai Din Ka Jhompra, I've already told you. Then we have another building. This is the Adai Din Ka Jhompra, Ajmer. A mosque built in 2.5 days. A mosque built in 2.5 days out of the rubble of again Hindu temples. It belongs to the period of Qutbuddin Aibak. Then we have the tomb of Sultan Ghari on your screen. This is the picture. So on your screen, the tomb of Sultan Ghari. Now, whose tomb is this? Iltutmish had a son called Nasruddin. Understand this? His name was Nasruddin Mahmud. He died young, and this broke the heart of Nasruddin Mahmud. Sorry, this broke the heart of Iltutmish, and he built a tomb for his son. This is the tomb of Sultan Ghari. So take down, please. Tomb of Sultan Ghari is the tomb of Nasruddin Mahmud. Is a tomb of Nasruddin Mahmud, son of Iltutmish. Son of Iltutmish. Hemalata, I don't know about this. Some myths say Qutub Minar is Surya Stambh. No, it was purely built by um, Aibak and then completed by Iltutmish. It was, I forgot to tell you this, it was built in honor of the Sufi saint Khwaja Qutbuddin Bakhtiyar Kaki. Please write down that. It was built in the honor of the Sufi saint Khwaja Qutbuddin Bakhtiyar Kaki. Khwaja Qutbuddin Bakhtiyar Kaki. It was built in memory or honor of Khwaja Qutbuddin Bakhtiyar Kaki. He was a Sufi saint of the Chishti order, and Iltutmish Qutbuddin Aibak was a devotee. He was a contemporary of this saint. So this saint lived at the time when Aibak was also there. So Aibak held him in great esteem, and he began the construction in honor of that saint. In fact, Aibak died just 4 years after establishing the Delhi Sultanate in an accident, as you know. He died while playing polo or chowgan. But that saint continued to live even for more than about 20-25 years, even after the death of Aibak. So this was built in honor of that saint. Now, whether this was a Surya Stam and all that, I don't know. I don't know where this such information, is culled out. Hemalata, I don't know that. So some say the Taj Mahal is the Shiva temple. So such things we are hearing nowadays. Don't go by all these rumors. You have WhatsApp University, so that is one which is spreading all these type of rumors. You be very careful. You stick to what is there in the standard history textbooks, right? So we'll come back here. So the tomb of Sultan Ghari is the tomb of Nasruddin Mahmud, son of Iltutmish. Right? So it is the first monumental tomb in India. Understand this? This is the first monumental tomb in India. Yes, Nasruddin Mahmud was the son-in-law of Balban. Balban's son-in-law was Nasruddin Mahmud. This Nasruddin Mahmud is somebody else. This is a tomb built by Iltutmish for his son Nasruddin Mahmud. Yeah, okay, Jia. Now, this is the first monumental tomb in India. Understand this. What is the meaning of a monumental tomb? A tomb which was built in honor of that particular person. Like, for example, Taj Mahal is an example of a monumental tomb. So it was built in memory of Mumtaz Mahal by Shah Jahan, and later Shah Jahan also has been buried next to his wife's grave inside the Taj. So that is an example of a monumental tomb. This is the first monumental tomb in India, the tomb of Sultan Ghari. So make a note of that. It is the first monumental tomb in India, right? First monumental tomb in India. Then we come to Balban's tomb. On your screen, this is Balban's tomb. This is the tomb of Ghiyazuddin Balban. And this has got a true or voussoid arch. This is a Roman design. You can see here, this is called a voussoid arch. This one is called a Vosoid arch. This the way it has been designed. So you have put a picture here. You can see this is called Vosoir. These are called Vosoirs, I believe. Vosoid arch, and this is a keystone. This is called a keystone. So this is the picture of a Vosoid arch. So Balban's tomb is the first example of a true or Vosoid arch. First example of a true or Vosoid arch. So these are the important buildings belonging to the slave sultans, the slave kings. Then we come to the Khaljis. Clear? Hello? Clear? Then we come to the Khaljis. Khaljis, as you know, they ruled from 1290 to 1320. Only for 30 years they ruled. Greatest was Alauddin Khalji. Greatest was Alauddin Khalji. Then Alauddin Khalji built the second city of Delhi, Siri. So this is the second city of Delhi he built, Siri. Of the 7 cities, the second city of Delhi was built by Alauddin Khilji at Siri. Then, right? So he had planned an incomplete tower near the Qutub Minar. He wanted to build a tower twice the height of the Qutub Minar, but he could not see its completion. I have put the pictures in the Delhi Sultanate chapter. If you just refer to the pictures, you'll understand. The chapter you see, Delhi Sultanate chapter, I have put the pictures in the section on Alauddin Khalji. So he had planned a tower twice the height of the Qutub Minar. Only the first floor could be built. The foundation could be built, and the foundation itself is 70 feet of that tower. So this was an incomplete tower which he built near the Qutub Minar. The foundation of this incomplete tower is 70 feet. Then Alauddin Khalji built an entrance gateway to the Qutub complex called the Alai Darwaza. You can see here on your screen. This is the Alai Darwaza. And you can see in the background the Qutub Minar. The Qutub Minar is here in the background. So this particular building, the Alai Darwaza, the entrance gateway to the Qutub complex, has a horse keel arch. Now you have the horseshoe. So this is called a horse keel arch. You can see that. This is called a horse keel arch. So this is called a horse keel arch. So uses horse keel arch for the first time. Then Jamaat Khana Masjid, earliest example of a mosque built on wholly Muslim ideas, I believe. Jamaat Khana Masjid. So this is the picture of the Jamaat Khana Masjid at Delhi. Jamaat Khana Masjid. So Khalji style is also called Seljuk style. Khalji style is also called Seljuk style of architecture. Seljuk style. Seljuk style of architecture. Okay, it's called Seljuk style of architecture. And basically, they used red sandstone. They basically use red sandstone in the buildings. Okay, so these are the important buildings of the Khaljis. Incomplete tower near Qutub Minar, Alai Darwaza, Jamaat Khana Masjid. And then, of course, we have the tomb of Nizamuddin Aulia. We have the tomb of Nizamuddin Aulia. Who built Nizamuddin Aulia's tomb? Anybody? Who built the tomb of Nizamuddin Aulia? Hello, students. Who built the tomb of Nizamuddin Aulia? Yeah, very good, Nikhil. Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Very good. So you can see the picture of the tomb of Nizamuddin Aulia here on your screen. This tomb complex also houses the tombs of 2 more people. One is Amir Khusro and the other is Jahanara Begum. So I mentioned it here on your screen. So it contains the tombs of Amir Khusro and Jahanara Begum. Amir Khusro, who was given the title of Tut-e-Hind by Alauddin Khalji, Parrot of India. So Alauddin Khalji called Amir Khusro Parrot of India. He was more of a poet than a historian. Amir Khusro, he wrote 5 Khamsas. He was a prolific scholar of those days. He saw the rule of 7 Delhi Sultans, Amir Khusro. Jahanara Begum is the eldest daughter of Shah Jahan. Eldest daughter of Shah Jahan, who took care of him in his old age when his son, when Shah Jahan's son Aurangzeb put him under house arrest. So he was looked after, tended by his eldest daughter, that is Shah Jahan's eldest daughter, Jahanara Begum. So inside the complex, we have also the tomb of Jahanara Begum. Are you there with me? So Nizamuddin Auliya Dargah complex, Delhi, houses the tombs of Amir Khusro and Jahanara Begum. So I move on, we come to the Tughlaqs. The Tughlaqs. Now, understand this, the Tughlaqs, they ruled for the longest period of time, 1320 to 1412. 1320 to 1412, is it approximately uh, Tughlaqs, 1320 to 1412. Now, we have Ghiasuddin Tughlaq, who founded Tughlaqabad. This is the third city of Delhi. Third city of Delhi. Third city founded by Ghiasuddin Tughlaq. Ghiasuddin Tughlaq. That's the third city of Delhi, founded by Ghiasuddin Tughlaq. Now, Tughlaqs, understand this, they used grey stone. Grey stone was the stone used, and the stone is very hard. So because of that reason, we have very less designs on their buildings. And their tombs have a fort-like appearance. They look like a fort. So it's a very plain. They're massive though, but they're very plain and no embellishments, no decorations. And because of grey stone, right? And they use sloping walls or battar. What is sloping wall or battar? This is a sloping wall. This is called a sloping wall or a battar. So when you build a wall like this is called a sloping wall. So when you build a wall like this, it is supposed to add strength to the building, sloping walls. So they use sloping walls, give strength and solidity to the buildings. Tombs had fort-like appearance. And what we notice is Firuz Shah Tughlaq's buildings are very, very plain. He established the public works department, Firuz Shah Tughlaq, and he was a great builder. He founded a number of cities. But then what we notice is Firuz Shah Tughlaq's building look very plain. What is the reason for that? Reason is because of financial conditions. Muhammad bin Tughlaq, because of his grand projects, we look at Muhammad bin Tughlaq, isn't it? All his grand projects failed. Transfer of capital from Delhi to Devagiri or Daulatabad, increased land revenue in the Doab, then introduction of token currency, then Khurasan campaign and Karajal expedition. All his projects failed. So the treasury became empty. And secondly, he had transferred the capital from Delhi to Devagiri. And what happened is you have an exodus of architects, engineers, masons, etc. So a lot of these architects, engineers, masons from Delhi migrated to South India. So therefore, you have dearth of workers. There was hardly any worker to make his buildings beautiful because all of them had migrated during the transfer of capital. So because of these two reasons, Firuz Shah Tughlaq's buildings look very plain. Are you there with me? Did you understand? They look very plain. So we'll come back here. So minimum decoration I can see here. Minimum decoration is seen on their buildings. Stress on strength and austerity. Then you just take down some points. Two points to take down. So Firuz Shah Tughlaq's buildings, Firuz Tughlaq's buildings look plain due to two reasons. Due to one is transfer of capital from Delhi to Daulatabad. Transfer of capital from Delhi to Daulatabad resulted in dispersal of experienced and skilled artisans. Led to dispersal of experienced and skilled artisans. And number two, ambitious plans of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, ambitious projects of Muhammad bin Tughlaq had emptied the treasury. Ambitious projects of Muhammad bin Tughlaq had emptied the treasury. Right? Then, Firoz, and there's another page. Firuz Shah Tughlaq founded 4 fortress cities. Firuz Tughlaq founded 4 fortress cities. What is the meaning of fortress cities? That is, you have a fortress within which there is a city. That's called a fortress city. So you have a fort, and in the middle of the fort, you have a city. So he established 4 fortress cities. What are the 4 fortress cities established by Firuz? Jaunpur is one. Jaunpur in UP. Jaunpur. Then number 2, Fatehabad. Then Hisar and Firozabad. Jaunpur, Fatehabad, Hisar and Firozabad. Then he built the 5th city of Delhi. That is Firozabad. Firozabad is the 5th city. 5th city of Delhi. Now known as Firuz Kotla. Firozabad is now called Firuz Shah Kotla. I think it has been renamed as who? The central minister was there, no? Arun Jaitley, isn't it? Anybody from Delhi here? It has been called Arun Jaitley Nagar or something like that, no? Firuz Shah Kotla. It was in the news. I think the stadium has been called, earlier it was called Firuz Shah Kotla. Yes, Arun Jaitley, yeah? Right. So, Firozabad, 5th city, has been now called, was later called Firuz Shah Kotla, on the banks of the river Yamuna. It is on the banks of the Yamuna. Then Firuz built a number of mosques. Firuz Shah Tughlaq built a number of mosques. What are the various mosques built by Firuz Shah Tughlaq? One is Kali Masjid. Okay, thank you, Dinesh. So, Kali Masjid. Then Kali Masjid, Begumpuri Mosque, Begumpuri Mosque. Number 3 is Kirki Masjid, and Kaaba Masjid. So, Kali Masjid, Begumpuri Masjid, Kirki Masjid, and Kaaba Masjid. Then Firuz built his own tomb. He built his own mausoleum. Firuz built his own mausoleum or a tomb, and also that of his prime minister, Khani Jahan Tilangani. So Firuz Shah Tughlaq had a prime minister who was from Telangana. So therefore, his full name is Khani Jahan Tilangani. He was from Telangana in South India, Andhra. So he built his own tomb and also that of his prime minister, Khani Jahan Tilangani. And Telangani's tomb is the first octagonal tomb in Delhi. Telangani's tomb is the first octagonal tomb. Octagonal tomb. Octagonal tomb. Wait. Octagonal tomb built in Delhi. Built in Delhi. Yeah, is it? Yes. Not only him, many of the Delhi Sultans, many of the Mughals also uh, began to construct their own tomb even before they died. This is called romanticizing death. This is like romanticizing death. No, one day or the other we all have to die. So many of the Mughal emperors, some of the Delhi Sultans began to build their own tomb. For example, Akbar had begun to build his own tomb, right? It was completed by Jahangir, like that. So this is about Firozabad is the fifth city. Kennedy, we have done this, isn't it? There are 7 cities of Delhi. You know that. What are the 7 cities? First is Meheroli, built by Qutbuddin Aibak. Second is Siri, built by Alauddin Khalji. Tughlaqabad, built by Ghiyazuddin Tughlaq. Then Jahanpana, built by Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Firozabad, built by Firuz Tughlaq. We have done this, and Deen Pana, built by Humayun. Shah Jahanabad, built by Shah Jahan. Fatehpur Sikri is a city built by Akbar. Shilpa. It's not in Delhi. This is near Agra. Shilpa. 40 kilometers from Agra is Fatehpur Sikri. So that doesn't come under the list of 7 cities of Delhi. Right? Now we come to, so this is about Tughlaqs. So did you understand? So Firoz Shah Tughlaq built his own tomb and also that of his Prime Minister, Kani Jahan Tilangani. And Tilangani's tomb is the first octagonal tomb in Delhi. Octagon is how many sides? 8 sides, huh? Eight sides. Okay. So this is the Tughlaqabad fort, as you can see on your screen. Tughlaqabad fort, built by Ghiyazuddin Tughlaq. Then we come to Lodhis. Sayyids did not build much. Sayyids did not build anything, rather. They did not build much. Now Lodhis mostly built tombs rather. They built mostly tombs, Lodhis. So Lodhis built tombs. For example, look here on your screen. This is a this is a tomb. They gave it a pleasing skyline. There's a tree. Imagine there's a garden with grass and trees around. And since this was built at a height, it gave a pleasing skyline. So it gave us pleasing skyline. And then they added another dome inside. Understand this? This is a double dome. This is the picture of a double dome. So a dome within a dome. So you have a double dome here. There's a gap here. So when you build a dome like this is called a double dome. Picture of a double dome. So when you build a double dome, what is the advantage? One is it adds strength to the dome. Strength to the dome. Strength to dome. Number two, another advantage, it reduces the height of the ceiling. Reduces height of ceiling. So reduces the height of the ceiling. The ceiling height is reduced because of that reason. And it adds strength to the dome. And since it has been built on a height, it gives a pleasing skyline. It looks very, very beautiful. So it gives a pleasant skyline, a pleasing skyline. And they put up a garden around a tomb. They put up a garden. You can see here Sikandar Lodhi's tomb. You can see in Delhi, this is Sikandar Lodhi's tomb. So it has been built at a height. You have a lovely garden around it. And double dome treatment. Dome within a dome. So this is called double dome. You can see here, this is the picture of a double dome. A dome within a dome. Double dome. So they use of double dome, enamel tiles. Buildings were on platform with gardens at the sides, octagonal shaped domes introduced by them. Though it became very common under the Lodhis. So octagonal domes became common. You can make that correction, became common. Telangana's dome is the first octagonal dome, right? Telangana's dome, built by Firuzshah Tughlaq. So octagonal shaped domes became common under the Lodhis. So what are the other domes built apart from Sikandar Lodhi's dome? We have a number of other domes built by the Lodhis. So we have, for example, Bara Khan ka Gumbad, right here. So they Bara Khan ka Gumbad, Bara Khan ka Gumbad. And Chota Khan ka Gumbad, Chota Khan का गुंबद, पोली का गुंबद, पोली का गुंबद. Yes. Kennedy, they were the first to introduce garden around the tomb. That is true. They were the first to introduce gardens around the tomb. Okay, so this is about Lodhis. Then we come to provincial architecture. So we come to the second phase. Remember, we have discussed the first phase, 11th century to 14th century. I gave you an introduction, isn't it? Indo-Islamic architecture is divided into three phases. First phase is over, just now discussed. Then we come to second phase. Second phase is provincial style. Provincial style is from when? Date 1316 to 1316 is the death of Alauddin Khalji until 1526, until the coming of the Mughals. This is phase 2. Hello, are you there with me? So please write down. Heading is provincial style. Then take down phase 2. Hermann Gottes. Hermann Gottes. I'll use caps here. Just hold on. Hermann Gottes has divided the art of the provincial sultanates. Hermann Gottes has divided the art of the provincial sultanates. Has divided the art of the provincial sultanates into three groups. Number one, Delhi style. So this is found in the states of Jaunpur, Nagaur, and Malwa. Found in the states of Jaunpur, Nagaur, Malwa. Number two, Hindu style, seen in the states of Kashmir, Gujarat and Bengal. And number three, Deccan style. Delhi style, Hindu style, and Deccan style. Have you taken down? Can I move on? So we'll come to now Bengal. So you can see on your screen, Bengal. On your screen, Bengal. Its buildings and structures are found at Malda. Understand this? Malda, Pandua, Tribeni, Gaur, and Vikrampur. These are the important centers where we see buildings. Generally, what UPSC has asked is from this section, they mostly ask you important buildings located in the provinces. Either it is Bengal or Gujarat or Jaunpur or Deccan, etc. And sometimes they've asked you the type of material which has gone into the construction of those buildings. Like, like Bara Imambara in Lucknow is made up of the following materials. So they have asked that way, or they will ask you, they have asked till now the location of these buildings, where they are located. So, right, they have not asked you the type of architecture followed in the provinces. Till now, they have not asked. Anyway, we'll come back here. So, important buildings are located here at Malda, Pandua, Tribeni, Gaur, Vikrampur. Use of black marble, schist, and bricks. So, locally available material has been used. It follows the Hindu tradition. Roofs are convex. Heavy rainfall area in Bengal, therefore, roofs are convex. Um, uh, Now, let us look at the important buildings in Bengal at um, at Gaur. So, what are the important buildings at Gaur? Gaur. So, important buildings at Gaur are as follows: the Dakhil Darwaza, Dakhil Darwaza, also called the Triple Gateway, the Dakhil Darwaza, or Salami Gateway. Dakhil Darwaza, also known as Salami Gateway or Salami Gateway. This is at Gaur. This is an important building. Then, apart from this is number one, Dakhil Darwaza or Salami Gateway. Number two is at Gaur, Chota Sona Masjid, Bada Sona Masjid. Chota Sona Masjid and Bara Sona Masjid. Then we have buildings at Pandua. Buildings at Deccan style. We'll come to that. Whatever happened in the Deccan, that's a separate style, Hemlata. Deccan style is a separate style. It is a mixture of Delhi and Persian styles. I'll come to that just in some time. Just hold on. So Pandua. So what are the important buildings at Pandua? Important buildings at Pandua is the Adina Masjid. Adina Masjid. Built by Sikandar Shah. It was built by King Sikandar Shah. Sikandar Shah. So sometime in the 14th century, you don't need to remember the date, 14th century he lived. And this is probably the largest Islamic building in India, largest Muslim building in India. It has got 400 domes. It has got 400 domes, the Adina Masjid, and probably is the largest Muslim building in India. Largest Muslim building in India. The Adina Masjid at Pandwa, built by Sikandar Shah. Okay, right? This is Bengal. Can I move on? So Bengal, then we come to Gujarat. Gujarat, tradition of temple architecture carried on. So you have Hindu and Jain temples, which were converted into mosques here. So pretty common here. They follow medieval Hindu and Jain temples converted into mosques. So tradition of temple architecture carried on here. Decorated buttresses. What are decorated buttresses? This is decorated buttresses. You can see here. What is a buttress? A structure or a stone or brick built against a wall to strengthen and support it. This is called a buttress. So this has been strengthened. The side walls have been buttressed with additional wall. That is called a buttress. So what are the important buildings in Gujarat? Let's talk about that. Important buildings in Gujarat. So important ones only I'm giving you, not everything. So we have the city of Ahmedabad. City of Ahmedabad, founded in 1411 by Sultan Ahmad Shah the First. So Ahmad Shah the First. Sultan Ahmad Shah the First founded the city of Ahmedabad. This is number one. Um, right. Then of course we have number two, Sultan Mahmud Begara. Sultan Mahmud the First Begara. He founded three cities. What are the three cities founded by him? Champaner, Junagadh, and Kheda. These are three cities founded by him. And of course, one more thing. uh, so at the Ahmedabad, we have of course one more building. One is the city of Ahmedabad, founded by Ahmad Shah the First, and also he built the Teen Darwaza. Add that please. Teen Darwaza, triple gateway. Teen Darwaza, again at Ahmedabad, or triple gateway. Triple gateway. Are you there with me? So Ahmedabad city founded by Ahmad Shah the First in 1411. Plus, he also built the Teen Darwaza, triple gateway. This triple gateway is 37 feet in height. Triple gateway is 37 feet in height. And we have a number of baulis or vows constructed in Gujarat because it is a semi-arid zone. So, number of step wells. Step wells were built, also called vows, WAVS, or baulis. The best example we can cite is um, by Hari Wow at Ahmedabad. And number two, the Wow at Adalaj. Okay, near Ahmedabad. Near Ahmedabad. So this is by Hari Vav at Ahmedabad. Is it Rani Ki Vav? Same? Is it the same, Dinesh? Are you from that place, Dinesh? Because I have not visited Ahmedabad till now. I would not know. It's called Bhai Hari Vav at Ahmedabad. And then and the one is near Adalaj, a nearby village near Ahmedabad. Vav at Adalaj, near Ahmedabad. Then we come to Malwa. You can see on your screen, Malwa structures are located at Mandu, Dhar, and Chanderi. Just hold on. Yeah, MP. Okay. Yeah. So structures located at Mandu, Dhar, and Chanderi. Domes are on high drums. Absence of minarets in mosques, very unique to Malwa. There are no minarets. So on the four corners, you have four towers around a mosque. That is not there in Malwa. Ogival arches. This is the picture of an ogival arch. You can see on your screen. This is the picture of an ogival arch. Okay, this is called an ogival arch. And then, of course, we have European fine jali work. Fine jali is this perforated windows. So, what are the important buildings at Malwa? Let's talk about it. Important buildings at Malwa. Malwa. Important buildings. So, then at Mandu, important buildings at Mandu are these. Mandu. One is Jami Masjid. Jami Masjid built by Sultan Hushang Shah. Sultan Hushang. Then number two, Ashrafi Mahal. Ashrafi Mahal. Then Hindola Mahal. Hindola Mahal. And Jahaz Mahal. These three were built by Sultan Mahmud the First. Sultan Mahmud the First. Ashrafi Mahal, Hindola Mahal, and Jahaz Mahal. So then we come to Kashmir. On your screen, Kashmir, we have wooden architecture here. Wooden architecture. They show Buddhist influence, Hindu temples converted to mosques. Then you have wood. Best example is Kankasha Mosque. So square half with pyramidal roof crowned with long slender spire. Example, Kankasha Mosque. This is Kankasha Mosque. Kanka and Mullah in Srinagar. So it shows wooden architecture. Hindu temples converted to mosques show Buddhist influence. So this is Kashmir. Then Jaunpur. On your screen, Jaunpur in UP. We have arcade trebate systems used. So that is both arch and dome and square slab and beam method used. Propylene screen. What is a propylene screen? I have mentioned it here. On your screen, you can see. This is basically a grand entrance to a grand, a huge entrance, a massive entrance to a grand monument. That's called a propylon screen. And Islamic buildings, it is generally arched. So this is called a propylon. You can see this is called a propylon screen. And absence of minarets. Again, absence of minarets. Like in Malwa, you don't have minarets. In Jaunpur also, we do not have any minarets. Best example is Atala Mosque. This is the Atala Devi Mosque at Jaunpur. So this was basically a goddess temple converted into a mosque. Jaunpur, I'll just give you some information. Just hold on. Jaunpur. Yeah. So this was a mosque erected on the Hindu temple of Atala Devi in 1408. So please take down Atala Mosque erected on a Hindu temple. Erected on a Hindu temple of Atala Devi. Of Atala Devi in 1408. Okay, this is about Jaunpur. Nikhil, no, I told you the reason as to why initially we find such alterations, demolitions, alterations to Hindu and Jain temples, and later once they consolidated themselves here, they to a large extent give up demolishing buildings. But then some people, even during the Mughal period, emperors like Aurangzeb, he was intolerant, and that's where problem arose. If he was like Akbar, then it would have been a different thing. Akbar never demolished any temples. He did not hurt the religious sentiments of Hindus. Similarly, Shah Jahan and Jahangir and Shah Jahan. But then Aurangzeb was intolerant. And again, he made enemies, because of his intolerant policies. Okay. But then you see, we do have examples, Nikhil, we do have examples where within Hindus, again, you have Vaishnavas and Shaivites fighting. Vijayanagar, for example, during the Vijayanagar period, you have Vaishnavas fighting against Jains, or you have Vaishnavas fighting against Shaivites. For example, Chola period, the Cholas were Shiva worshippers, and the Vaishnavas were persecuted. So that's how it is. In many cases, we also have Hindus fighting against Buddhists. So we do have instances where there was no unity amongst the Hindus themselves, and they have fought against each other within their own religion. Various sects have fought against each other. Okay, so therefore, these are all medieval times. We cannot adopt or adopt modern you know um, rules and morals to medieval times. Medieval times, the rules were different, the society was different, the Yuddha Niti, as it is called, the rules of war were different. So that's how it is. Now we'll come back here. So this is about, then of course, Kamdesh and Faruqi style, Deccan style. Deccan style, it is a mixture of, understand this, Deccan style is a mixture of Persian and Delhi styles. Understand this. Very interesting this part. Now Deccan style is a mixture of, add that please, Deccan style. It's a fusion of Persian and Delhi styles. A fusion of Persian and Delhi styles. Now, why is it a fusion of Persian and Delhi styles? Understand this. Now, who was the founder of the Bahmani kingdom? Founder of the Bahmani kingdom was Hassan Gangu, isn't it? Hassan Gangu was the founder, and Hassan Gangu was an adventurer from West Asia. He was basically from West Asia. He was an adventurer from West Asia. And destiny willed that he came here to the south, and he went on to found the Bahmani kingdom. So even after he became the emperor, after establishing the Bahmani kingdom, what was the capital of the Bahmanis? Gulbarga. Initial capital was Gulbarga in Karnataka, and again it was later shifted to Bidar. From Gulbarga, it was shifted to Bidar. So both these places are in Karnataka, present day Karnataka. Now, Hassan Mangu, though he was from West Asia, and he became the Sultan later and founded this kingdom called Bahmani Kingdom. We have a number of architects, engineers who kept on coming to the Bahmani Kingdom. So he kept in touch with his motherland, though he became the Sultan. Even after becoming the Sultan, he kept in touch with his motherland, and a number of architects, engineers came from that area, from West Asia, and sought employment under him. So obviously, you have introduction of Persian elements in architecture there. Then how is it that it is a fusion of Delhi and Persian styles? Persian style I just now told you. How is it a fusion of Delhi style? We have the transfer of capital from Delhi to Devagiri by Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So a number of architects, engineers, masons from Delhi came away to South India. And of course, Muhammad bin Tughlaq reshifted the capital back to Delhi. But many of these architects, engineers, and masons did not go back to Delhi. They sought employment under the Bahmani sultans. And they introduced Delhi style in the south, in the Bahmani kingdom. So Bahmani style, Deccan style is a fusion of Persian and Delhi styles. Did you understand? Can you raise your hands? Did you understand what I just now told you? So it's a mixture of Persian and Delhi styles. So when the capital was shifted from Delhi to Devagiri by Muhammad bin Tughlaq, all these architects, engineers came from Delhi to the south and later joined the employment of the Bahmani government. And that's how you have Delhi styles introduced in the Deccan. Okay. So that's what you need to remember. Remember the important buildings like Charminar, the Golconda Fort, or the Gol Gumbaz in Bijapur, all those things. So Gol Gumbaz, I've given you all these things. Gol Gumbaz in Bijapur has the second largest dome in the world. Ibrahim Rauza at Bijapur is the best example of Adil Shahi architecture. Best example of Adil Shahi architecture is not the Gol Gumbaz, it is the Ibrahim Rauza at Bijapur. Then Golconda Fort built by Kuli Qutub Mulk. Then Hussain Sagar Lake and Ibrahim Pattam tanks built by Ibrahim Qutub Shah. Hyderabad city founded by Muhammad Kuli Qutub Shah, including Charminar, all those things. So all these details are here. So Gol Gumbaz at Bijapur, you can see here on your screen. So it has got the second largest dome in the world. The biggest dome is that of the Vatican. Then the Ibrahim Rauza at Bijapur. Best example of Adil Shahi architecture is this at Bijapur, Ibrahim Rauza, the tomb of Ibrahim Adil Shah II. The Charminar at Hyderabad, and the Makkah Masjid at Hyderabad. It was completed by Aurangzeb, Makkah Masjid at Hyderabad. Then we come to Mughal architecture. Can we take a 5 minutes break and get back? 6 minutes break and get back. Hello? We'll just take a small break, 5 minutes break, and come back. Okay. Okay. Hello. Can we continue? All of you? Hello. Can we continue? Right. Now let us come to Mughal architecture. Um, so here we have the great Mughals, Babur to Aurangzeb. Babur to Aurangzeb. And you know the story of Babur. He fought 4 wars in 4 years. So very busy fighting wars. But even then, in his busy schedule, he built a few mosques. And these are the mosques built by him. On your screen, you can see the mosque built by Babur at Panipat, Rohilkhand, Agra, and Ayodhya. And the one at Ayodhya later got controversial and was broken up. Okay, broken down. So this is about Babur. So he invited Sinan, Albanian architect. So he was from Albania, Albanian architect called Sinan, and employed Indian masons also. And he built a few mosques. So this is the Kabuli Bagh Mosque at Panipat. This is the Babri Masjid, which was later demolished. It became controversial and it was demolished. And now in its place, there's a temple now at Ayodhya. So these are the mosques built by Babur. Then we come to Humayun. Humayun, he lost the empire to Sher Shah Suri. He was thrown out of India. So again, Humayun built a few mosques and he founded the city of Deenpana, the sixth city of Delhi. So he built the city of Deenpana, also called Shergarh. This is the sixth city of Delhi, sixth city, also called Shergarh. And he built a mosque at Fatehabad in Punjab. So Humayun. So this is, you can see here, this is the Fatehabad Mosque built by Humayun in the Punjab. And after he died, one of his wives, that is his favorite wife, Hamida Banu Begum, Akbar's mother, built a mosque, built a tomb for him. This is Humayun's tomb. You can on your screen. This is Humayun's tomb, built by Hamida Banu Begum, 8 years after he died. So when was this built? 1564. Construction began in 1564. Construction began in 1564. So this was designed by a Persian architect, Malik Mirza Ghias. So Humayun's tomb. Architect being Malik Mirza Ghias. So all the features of all the so this is where the Mughal architecture begins from. Mughal architecture begins from here. So the dome is marble. As you can see, the dome is marble, and then here it is mostly built of sandstone, red sandstone. So we are running what char bagh style of garden. So what is char bagh style of garden? Like this. This is called char bagh style of garden. These are called char bagh style of gardens. Okay, so this is called char bagh. Char bagh. Bagh is in a garden, So char bagh style of gardens. Char bagh style. Running water, red sandstone. All this has been used in Humayun's tomb. So dome is entirely marble, while the rest of the building is made of red sandstone. And along with that, we have black and white marble used. Red sandstone, red sandstone. Along with that, black and white marble. Black and white marble has been used. And this is considered to be the precursor of the Taj Mahal. Considered to be the precursor of the Taj. First real Mughal style. Okay, this is. Are you there with me? Humayun's tomb. Harsh, we will not go into those things. Harsh, The Supreme Court has decided whatever it has to be decided. I will not go into those things. I'm only sticking to the architecture part of it. Okay, so we will not talk about all those things. It has already been decided, and a temple has been built in that place. So it's as good as a dead matter. Right? We'll come back here. Then we come to Akbar. Hello, are you there with me? We come to Akbar. Now, as you all know, Akbar was a great builder. He built a number of palaces. He for his Rajput queens. Um, then he founded the city of Fatehpur Sikri near Agra. He built the tallest gateway in the world, that is the Buland Darwaza. He also built a number of forts at Agra, Lahore, Allahabad. So these are all the forts built by Akbar. So he was a great builder. On your screen, so his architecture was nationalist in character, borrowing freely from Rajputs and others. And his building activities can be seen at Agra, Fatehpur Sikri, Lahore. So, so it's a blend of his architecture is a blend of Mughal, Indo-Islamic, and Rajput forms. It's a blend of Mughal, Indo-Islamic, and Rajput forms. So it's a blend of all these things. So what are the buildings? So you see inside the Agra fort, what is now existing is only a few buildings. Many of the buildings built by Akbar were demolished by Shah Jahan. Shah Jahan was a lover of marble, and Akbar built buildings in red sandstone. So Shah Jahan did not like them. So he demolished most of the buildings inside the Agra fort. Only two remain. Two buildings built by Akbar remain. One is the Akbari Mahal and the other is the Jahangiri Mahal. So on your screen, Agra fort. This is the Agra fort on your screen, as you can see, built by Akbar. So we have Jahangiri Mahal and Akbari Mahal. Add that please. And Akbari Mahal. These are the only two buildings built by Akbar which remain. Rest all were demolished by Shah Jahan. Rest of the buildings belong to Shah Jahan. So what are the important buildings inside the Agra fort? The Diwan-e-Am, the Diwan-e-Khas, Sheesh Mahal, all those things are there. So this is inside the Agra fort. So then we have so use of red sandstone, limited use of white marble, etc. Then Akbar is the person who founded the city of Fatehpur Sikri. So here we have the statues of Jaiman and Patta. We have discussed this when I did conventional history. Uh, the two heroes who bravely died defending Chittor, Jaimal and Patta. So it was originally kept outside the Agra fort, main gate of the Agra fort, mounted on two black marble elephants. But then the elephants have crumbled, and now they are found outside the Delhi gate of the Red Fort. Then Fatehpur Sikri, which Akbar built um, near Agra. So Fatehpur Sikri was built in memory of which saint? Students, Fatehpur Sikri was built by Akbar in the memory of which saint? Sheikh. Remember? Very good, Jia. Sheikh Salim Chishti. Sheikh Salim Chishti. Sheikh Salim Chishti. So what are the important buildings at Fatehpur Sikri? So look here on your screen. These are the buildings. Panch Mahal. This is Panch Mahal on your screen, or Hawa Mahal. It's also called Hawa Mahal. Panch Mahal or Hawa Mahal. So pyramidal in shape, shows the influence of Bengal and Gujarat, and Persian influence can be seen in the blue glazed tiles. So this is Hawa Mahal. 5-story building. And then this is the Buland Darwaza, totally 177 feet in height. Totally 177 feet in height. The Buland Darwaza at Fatehpur Sikri. And Fatehpur Sikri, just add one point here, please. Fatehpur Sikri has been called Fatehpur Sikri. Fatehpur Sikri has been called a frozen moment in history. A frozen moment in history. A frozen moment in history. As buildings here blend Hindu and Persian styles. As buildings here blend Hindu and Persian styles. Frozen moment in history has buildings here blend Hindu and Persian styles. And Fatehpur Sikri was the seat of the imperial court from 1569 to 84. F. Sikri, Fatehpur Sikri, was the seat of the imperial court. Seat of the imperial court from 1569 to 1584. 1569 to 84. This was the seat of the imperial court. So Akbar functioned from here from 1569 to 84. And inside the Agra fort, as you know, 5,000 women stayed. Akbar had a harem. Akbar had a harem inside the Agra fort where 5,000 women were kept. Then Buland Darwaza, as you know, again at Fatehpur Sikri, Akbar built the Buland Darwaza in commemoration of victory over. Hello? He built the Buland Darwaza to commemorate his victory over Gujarat. Jia says Gujarat. Yeah, most of the books say Gujarat, but it is also Khandesh. So Khandesh in northwestern Maharashtra in the year 1601. So Akbar conquered Gujarat. Some books say Khandesh. Khandesh in northwest Deccan, northwest Maharashtra. This was the last conquest of Akbar, Khandesh in 1601. And to commemorate this, he built the Buland Darwaza at Fatehpur Sikri. It is built on a ridge. The Buland Darwaza is built on a ridge. And it is about 134 feet in height. When you take the height of the ridge, it is 177 feet. When you take the height of the ridge, it is 177 feet. Without the height of the ridge, it is 134 feet. Now, please take down. So some books, I said Gujarat is generally the place mentioned in most of the textbooks, but then the specific answer would be Khandesh, northwestern Maharashtra, northwest of Maharashtra, Khandesh, which he named Dandesh after Prince Danial. After conquering Khandesh, he called Khandesh as Dandesh after his son, one of his sons, Danial. So this was the last conquest of Akbar, 1601. And to commemorate that, he built the Buland Darwaza. Right, now take down. Akbar had the following message. Akbar had the following message. Akbar had the following message addressed to mankind, inscribed on the gateway. This is from the New Testament. From the New Testament of the Holy Bible. So Akbar had the following message from the New Testament comma, addressed to all mankind, inscribed on the gateway, inscribed on the Buland Darwaza, inscribed on the Buland Darwaza. So Harsh, it is sorry, sir, but I don't agree that he was he was great in anything. Okay, Harsh, that is your opinion, but there are different interpretations, different opinions. We should respect each other's opinions. Yeah, I'm trying, Jia. I'm trying to go a little faster. I'm trying. Now look here. Akbar had the following message addressed to all mankind, inscribed on the gateway, on the Buland Darwaza. Take down, please. Jesus, son of Mary, said, Jesus, son of Mary, said, open a quotation. Jesus, son of Mary, said, open a quotation, the world is a bridge. The world is a bridge. The world is a bridge, semicolon, pass over it, pass over it, semicolon, but build no house upon it. But build no house upon it. Semicolon, who hopes for an hour, who hopes for an hour, HOUR. I repeat, the world is a bridge, semicolon, pass over it, semicolon, but build no house upon it, semicolon, who hopes for an hour, who hopes for an hour, HOUR, comma, hopes for eternity, hopes for eternity. Full stop. The world is an hour. The world is an hour. Full stop. Spend it in prayer. The world is an hour. Full stop. Spend it in prayer. For what follows is unseen. For what follows is unseen. The world is an hour. Full stop. Spend it in prayer. For what follows is unseen. Close the quotation. So this is what Akbar got inscribed on the walls of the Buland Darwaza. Then we have the tomb of Shalim Chishti, Sheikh Shalim Chishti. This is the tomb of Sheikh Shalim Chishti on your screen. You can see. It is known for its perforated windows. Jali, fine, jali work of marble. So Sheikh Shalim Chishti is built of white marble. Then Mariam's palace. This is Mariam's palace. Who's Mariam? This is Mariam's palace on your screen. Mariam. Who's Mariam? Who's Mariam? Nahi Baba. Harkabai. Very good, Jia. Harkabai. Or not Jodabai. Jodabai is different. Harkabai. Harkabai was given the title of Mariam Zamani. Don't get confused with the movie Jia. Jodha was also one of his wives, and she was from the kingdom of Marwar with capital Jodhpur, whereas Harkabai was from Amer, Jaipur. So, Harkabai, who became the mother to Salim, Salim's mother. Very good. Then this is Jodhabai's palace, Jodhabai, the princess of Marwar, which Akbar also supposed to have married. This is Birbal's palace on your screen, Birbal's palace. Okay, so these are some of the important buildings of Akbar's period. Then we come to Jahangir. Jahangir, as you know, was more interested in laying gardens. He, of course, completed Akbar's mausoleum at Sikandara near Agra. Akbar's mausoleum at Sikandara near Agra. It was completed by Jahangir. So the original design had been approved by Akbar. It was completed by Jahangir. Then we have the Noor Jahan built a tomb for her father Itimad-ud-Dawla at Agra. So this is Akbar's tomb at Sikandara. Jahangir made some design changes to this original design. Then this is Itimaduddaulah stone, built by Noor Jahan for her father at Agra. First building entirely built of marble. So first Mughal building entirely built of marble and use of Pitradura. Pitradura. So entirely built of marble and Pitradura. This is the building, right? Then this is Jahangir stone built by Noor Jahan. This is in Lahore, Pakistan. So Jahangir was known more for gardens. So he laid the Shalimar Bagh garden. So take down, please. So he laid the Shalimar Bagh or garden in Kashmir. So this was led by Jahangir. Then also the Dilkusha garden. This was his pleasure garden in Lahore, where he has been buried. The Shahdara Bagh, as it is called now. It was a Dilkusha garden, Lahore, Pakistan. So in the tomb of Itimaduddaulah, you see here, in the tomb of Itimaduddaulah at Agra, red sandstone replaced marble. Red sandstone replaced marble. So this is a building entirely built of marble for her father by Noor Jahan. Then we come to, of course, Shah Jahan, greatest of the Mughal builders. Shah Jahan. So they show their superior and lavish display of rich and skillful decoration. So Akbar's buildings are grand; they are original and grand, but Shah Jahan's buildings are more beautiful. So lavish display of rich and skillful decorations are seen. He built a number of mosques. Um, so here, what are the important buildings built inside the Agra fort by Shah Jahan? So Shah Jahan. So inside the Agra fort, these are the buildings he built. Diwan Am, Diwan Khas. So what is Diwan Am meant for the Aam Admi? The hall of public audience. Diwan Am. Diwan Khas. Khas is special. So Diwan Khas, hall of private audience. Somebody very close to the emperor, he'll be made to sit there, or some dignitary, foreign dignitary has come, and the emperor feels that he should be given a special privileged position or a treatment. He'll be asked to be sitting inside the. He'll be made to sit in the Diwan Khas for the emperor to come and call upon him. The Diwan Am, Diwan Khas, then Moti Masjid, the Pearl Mosque, inside the Agra fort, then Khas Mahal. These are all buildings built by Shah Jahan inside the Red Fort, inside the Agra fort. Then Shah Jahan transferred the capital from Agra to Delhi in 1638. 1638, he transferred the capital. Transferred capital from Agra to Delhi. Agra to Delhi. Then founded Shah Jahanabad. Founded Shah Jahanabad in 1649. So he founded the Shah Jahan, 7th city of Delhi in 1649. Then he built the Lal Killa, Red Fort. Red Fort was built by him, Lal Killa, in Delhi, as you know. So Lal Killa was built in 1648. Red Fort was completed in 1648. So who are the architects of the Red Fort? Hamid and Ahmed. Architects are Hamid and Ahmed, and it costed rupees 1 crore. During those days, it costed 1 crore to build the Red Fort. Then, and inside there's a beautiful palace also. Inside the Red Fort, we have a lovely palace which served as the um, residence of the emperor. So, so inside the Red Fort, we have Diwan-e-Aam, Diwan-e-Khas, Diwan-e-Aam, Diwan-e-Khas, and on the walls of the Diwan-e-Khas, understand this, on the walls of the Diwan-e-Khas inside the Red Fort, Shah Jahan got a couplet of Amir Khusro inscribed on one of the walls of the Diwan-e-Khas. He was so much impressed with this couplet. So Amir Khusro, when he had gone to Kashmir, he praised the beauty of Kashmir in Persian language. In the following words, in Persian language, Agar Firdaus Barruhi Zaminas to Aminas to Aminas to Aminas. Agar Firdaus Barruhi Zaminas, Dominas, Dominas, Dominas. That is, if there be a paradise on earth, it is this, none but this. So this was a couplet of Amir Khusro, which Shah Jahan inscribed on the walls of the Diwan-e-Khas. Yeah, Diwan-e-Aam. Yes, Kennedy. Diwan-e-Aam is in Agra. In Agra also. Diwan-e-Aam is for the Aam Admi, hall of public audience. So when public will come to meet the emperor, he will not, call them inside his house, isn't it? He'll meet them in a separate hall. That's called Diwan-e-Aam. Diwan-e-Khas is like you have your lobby, you have your entrance, what do you call entrance portico of your house. Some stranger comes, you'll meet that person there. Somebody very close to you, you'll take that person inside into the hall room or a sitting area like that. Did you understand, Kennedy? Takht. Yeah, it is. Now we'll come back here. Then, of course, now Diwan-e-Aam, Diwan-e-Khas, and Rang Mahal. Rang Mahal, understand this? Rang Mahal inside the Red Fort was the emperor's private apartment. This was Shah Jahan's private apartment. And this was his private apartment, the palace, and you have his bedroom through which a lovely canal flew. It flowed during those days. So that is called Nahari Behisht, the canal of paradise. The Nahari Behisht, Nahar i Behisht, canal of paradise. Flowed through his bedroom inside the Rang Mahal, the canal of paradise. So he was a great builder with a great taste. Many people have the money, but they don't have the taste. Shah Jahan had both. He had money as well as taste to beautify his buildings. Then, of course, Shah Jahan built the biggest mosque in India, the Jama Masjid at Delhi. This is the biggest mosque in India, Jama Masjid. Largest mosque in India. At Delhi, Jama Masjid, it costed him, those days, it costed him 10 lakhs. He spent 10 lakhs on this mosque. Then, of course, the peak of Mughal architecture is in the Taj. Is seen in the Taj Mahal. Just 2 or 3 years after he became emperor, he lost his favorite queen, Mumtaz Mahal. It broke his heart, and he began the construction of the Taj Mahal. It took him 20 years to complete. What was the cost of the construction? It approximately costed him 4 crore 11 lakhs 48,826 rupees. That was the total cost of the Taj Mahal. 4 crore 11 lakhs 48,826 rupees. Chief architect was Ustad Isa. Ustad Isa. He was a chief architect. He was a Persian or Turkish architect, assisted by a number of Hindu architects and probably also by European architects. The Taj. So this is the Moti Masjid. You can see here on your screen. This is the Moti Masjid which he built in the inside the Agra fort. This is the Jama Masjid at Delhi. Then the Musamman Burj, where Shah Jahan was kept under house arrest by his son Aurangzeb. Musamman Burj. Then the Red Fort. We've seen this Red Fort. Then the Taj Mahal. It took 22 years to complete. So all the features of Mughal architecture, charbagh style of gardens, running water. Then Makrana marble was brought from Rajasthan, and I believe you see the Taj was planned to be built on the banks of the Yamuna River. And this particular structure, imagine the foresight of the architects. They knew that the building will be very, very heavy, and since it is being built on the bank of the river, it will sink the earth. The weight of the building can sink the earth, and it can result in the building capsizing, collapsing. So therefore, I believe they dug up a pit. They dug up a pit 20-story deep. 20-story deep pit was dug up where the main building was planned to be constructed. And then they brought huge boulders, rocks and boulders were brought from the sea, from the Yamuna River by boat, as well as by land from with the help of bullock carts, elephants, camels, etc. So huge boulders, rocks were brought, and that pit was dumped. It was filled up. So they also had foreseen earthquakes because this is in a seismic zone. So this is in an earthquake prone area. There could be tremors, and the tremor can damage the structure. So keeping all these things into consideration, they dug up a pit 20 feet, 20 story deep. Then they filled it up with huge boulders and rocks, and then the construction began. Makrana marble, Pitradura. That is, you see what is Pitradura? Inlaying of marble with precious stones. This is called Pitradura. On your screen, I put a picture of a Pitradura. What's Pitradura? So you imagine this is a marble. This is a piece of marble. So let's say there's a piece of marble. Okay, there's a piece of marble, and I make a design like this. Okay, we make a design like this, something like this. So this is chipped off. Wherever that 8 design is seen, that is chipped off. So there's a hole. This marble is chipped off here. All the marble is removed. Okay, marble is removed, and then in place of that marble, they'll put precious stones, and then they will in that gap they fill it up with precious stones, and then it is polished. So the precious stone become part of the marble. That's called Pitradura. You can see here Pitradura, also called Parchinkari. It's also called Parchinkari. So Pitradura is used. Arabesque is used. You can see here Arabesque. So you have plants, interconnected stems running all through the building. That is called arabesque. So that is seen. Running garden, running water. So all this is seen in the Taj Mahal. And inside you have the cenotaph, where you have the graves of Mumtaz and Shah Jahan. This is Mumtaz's grave, and this is Shah Jahan's grave. The Taj Mahal. So Rabindranath Tagore called it as a teardrop in the ocean of existence. He called the Taj, Rabindranath Tagore called the Taj as a teardrop in the ocean of existence. A teardrop, a teardrop in the ocean of existence. That's what he called it. Beautiful. Harsha, Harsh, that's not true. It is not. It was never a Shiva temple. That is not true. You know, if the whole mantra is you make something controversial, it sells. If it's a movie, it sells. It's a book, it sells. So that's the whole mantra. It is to make the whole issue controversial so that people go out of inquisitiveness, watch the movie, or go and pick up that book and read that book. So there's no truth in that, Harsha. Hmm? One way of making money is this, making it controversial. Okay, so we have discussed this about Mughal architecture. We'll come back here. Then Aurangzeb. Aurangzeb, you know what type of a person he was. Frugal minded. He considered it to be a waste of money, spending money on buildings. So he was economy minded. But then he has built a few mosques. One is for his private prayers inside the Red Fort. This is the Moti Masjid inside the Red Fort. This was built by Aurangzeb for his private prayers. And then this is the Badshahi Mosque at Lahore. Badshahi Mosque built by Aurangzeb for his for the public as such. The Badshahi Mosque. I have no idea, Nikhil, about that. Probably. I have no idea about that. Okay. So this is about, and one of his sons. Just hold on. One of Aurangzeb's sons, that is Azam Shah. He built a beautiful tomb for his mother, Rabia Durrani. This is at Aurangabad, and it's called Poor Man's Taj, Bibika Maqbara, as it is called, Bibika Maqbara. This is the Bibika Maqbara at Aurangabad, Maharashtra, built by Sayyid Azam Shah, one of the sons of Aurangzeb. It is pretty beautiful. I've gone here to Aurangabad. And I've seen this particular monument. It is pretty beautiful with whatever material they have used. Okay. Then Bahadur Shah Zafar, Bahadur Shah Zafar, yeah, Hemlata she's in Aurangabad, great. So Bahadur Shah Zafar, the last Mughal emperor, he built a Haveli for his wife Zinat Mahal. But then he was not in India. As you know, after the Sepoy Mutiny, he was sent away to Rangoon in Myanmar, Burma. So he died in 1862. When he was a prisoner there of the British in Myanmar or Burma, he ordered the construction of the Zinat Mahal. It was built by one of his sons, Sayyid Azam Shah, in Shah Jahanabad, Delhi. This is Zinat Mahal Haveli, built on the orders of Bahadur Shah Zafar. Right? So this is about Mughal architecture. Then we come to Sikh style. Sikh style. So heavily influenced by Mughal style of architecture. We have use of multiple chhatris or kiosks on your screen. These are called multiple chhatris or kiosks. Multiple chhatris. No, these are all chhatris. So multiple chhatris or kiosks. Then use of shallow cornices. What are cornices? Chajja as it is called. Cornices, chajja. What is chajja? You have on your window you have a shade, isn't it, like a sunshade? You have a cap which has a sunshade like that. On top of your window you have a sunshade, that is called chajja or a cornice. So use of shallow cornices. Did you get me? Cornice or chajja, the shade above the outside your window, that's called a cornice. Buildings had fluted domes covered with brass and copper gills. So these are all the examples of Sikh style. Features of Sikh style. Best example is the Harmandir Sahib, built by Guru Arjan Dev, started by Ramdas and built by the fifth Guru, Guru Arjan Dev. So this is the Harmandir Sahib on your screen, the Golden Temple as it is called. This is found on the banks of the Amrit Sarovar. You see, the second Sikh Guru was suffering from some skin problem, skin ailment, and the third Guru, Guru Amardas. So Guru Angad is the second Guru Nanak, Guru Angad, Guru Amardas. So Guru Amardas found herbs. he found some herb on the banks of this lake, which cured the second guru of his skin problem. And therefore, it was decided to build a temple in the midst of this lake by the fourth Guru Ramdas. The land where this temple was built, Harmandir Sahib, the holiest shrine of the Sikhs, along with the lake, was donated by Akbar. So Akbar was the one who donated this land, on which the Sikhs have built a beautiful temple for their own use, including a lake adjoining it. And it was completed by Guru Arjan Dev, the fifth Guru of the Sikhs. So the foundation was laid by Guru Arjan and Miyamir, a Muslim saint, true to the pluralistic spirit of Indian culture. So this is Gurudwara Bauli Sahib, the Samadhi of Guru Angad Dev, the second Guru of the Sikhs in Punjab. This is Gurudwara Patna Sahib, the birthplace of Guru Gobind Singh Ji, the 10th Guru of the Sikhs. And this is Nanded in Maharashtra, Gurudwara Hurzur Sahib, where Guru Gobind Singh, he was killed at this place. He was beheaded at this place, and the Sikhs have built a Gurudwara here. Then Rajput style, we have Rajputs building a number of palaces and forts, hanging balcony, okay, hanging balcony, and then cornices were built in the shape of an arch. So that is the sunshade on top of the window was in the shape of an arch. So when the shadow of the arch falls on the ground, it looks like that of a bow. It looked like the shape of a bow, the Rajput style. Then modern architecture. We come to modern architecture. You see, we have a number of Europeans coming to India for trading purpose. What is the order in which they came? Portuguese. What is the order in which they came? Portuguese, Dutch, English, Danes, and French. Portuguese, Dutch, English, Danes, Denmark, and lastly French. So they came to trade, and initially they built trading stations or factories. So look here on your screen. They built a number of trading stations or factories. So what is a factory or a trading station or a factory? A trading station or a factory. For example, they built houses. These are the houses where they built. They built houses here. And then they'll have their godowns here. So they'll have their godowns. Let's say there's a godown. Offices. Right? And this is called a factory. They put a huge wall. Initially, they put a huge wall around the settlement. They did not easily mingle with the local people. And later they came to fortify them. This is called a factory or a trading station. So which consisted of residential quarters of the Europeans, offices, godowns, and then they barricaded themselves, inside huge compounds. And later they built a fort. They built a fort around this settlement of theirs to feel more safe. Once they began to involve themselves in local affairs, wars with local kings, then to protect themselves and feel more secure, they built a fort around it. For example, we have the Fort St. George in Chennai, which was the first fort built by the British, isn't it? Fort St. George, built by the British. So let us talk about European architecture. First of all, we have the Portuguese. So Portuguese buildings are found in Goa. That was their headquarters, as you know. They introduced the Iberian style of architecture. So whatever style of architecture existed in Portugal, they introduced that here. And patio houses. They introduced patio houses and Iberian style of architecture. So what is a patio? You can see on your screen. Something like an outhouse. You have the main house here. Inside you have the main house. And then you have outside sort of a sit out. That's called a patio. You can have a patio even on the top of your house. In case you have a terrace and some space there, you can have a patio on top of that. So patio is a Portuguese design. Something like an outhouse or a sit out. More like a sit out. Patio, right? And then Iberian style of architecture. So they built trading stations, warehouses, fortified towns. So Baroque churches, for example, patio houses and Baroque churches. This is the example of a Baroque church. So St. Cathedral in Goa. So look at the design inside this church. So this is the example of a Baroque church, Portuguese design church. This is Castello Aguada in Mumbai. Castello da Aguada. Then we come to French influence. French introduced modern city planning, Cartesian grid plans, urban city planning, Cartesian grid plans, and their architecture is called anonymous architecture. The style of architecture is called anonymous architecture. So, for example, we have the city of Puducherry or Pondicherry in Puducherry, and of course Chandan Nagor or Chandra Nagor. And then, of course, this is anonymous style of buildings. So, this is a French style anonymous architecture. The Church of Sacred Heart of Jesus in Puducherry. So, look at the design here inside. This is a French design. Similarly, French window, French doors. We're all familiar with the French windows and French doors. This is called anonymous style. Then British influence. British introduced Gothic style of architecture, and when it merged with the Indian style, it became Indo-Gothic or Victorian style. So they introduced Gothic style of architecture. When it merged with Indian style, it became Indo-Gothic or Victorian style. And 1911, post 1911, a new style of architecture was introduced. That is called Neo-Roman architecture. Once the capital was shifted from Calcutta to Delhi, we have Neo-Roman style of architecture. So let us understand what is this Gothic style or Indo-Gothic style. So these are the buildings here. You can see according to the British style. So Victorian style. So once Indo-Gothic merged, it is called Victorian style. So what are the features here? Constructions were extremely large and elaborate. Large, big buildings. Walls were thinner. Arches were pointed. You can see here arches are pointed. So these are pointed arches. So walls are thinner. Arches were pointed. Large windows have been used. Large windows. You can see here large windows. Crucified ground plan, that is square. Crucified ground plan is it is square in shape generally. Then advanced structural engineering standards, steel, iron, and poured concrete have been used. Whatever was there in the West, the same was introduced by the British. Steel, iron, and poured concrete, pre-mixed concrete that was used by the British. So this is the Victoria Memorial in Calcutta. Then the Chhatrapati Shivaji Terminus, earlier VT in Mumbai. Right? So Iberian style is that of the Portuguese. Iberian style, Gothic is that of the British. So the Portuguese, whatever style was there in Portugal, they introduced that here. They did not make any changes. So brick was the main material used, and they used wood for stairs. Roof and stair, they have used wood. Whereas Gothic style, we have red sandstone, coarse limestone has been used. Portuguese continued with their Western traditions, whereas British introduced Indian motifs. Indian motifs were also adopted. Indian styles, designs, elements were introduced by the British, mixed with the Gothic style. So these are the architects of New Delhi, Edwin Lutyens, Herbert Baker, and Delhi is called the Rome of Hindustan. So these are the architects of New Delhi. So we have Neo-Roman and Neo-Classical style. So what are the features of Neo-Roman and Neo-Classical style? Constructions are anonymous. So since all styles converge at Delhi, it is very congested. So cramped for space. There's not much space because many styles are fused here in Delhi. Then we have circular buildings like Connaught Place is circular. So focus on circular buildings. Then simplicity, modernity is highly compromised. Overuse of Oriental motifs, Eastern motifs like lotus, all those designs are used. Concept of upturned dome is introduced. For example, we have the Rashtrapati Bhavan, whose dome is that of the Sanchi Stupa. You can see here on your screen, this is the design of the Sanchi Stupa. The same has been copied here in the Rashtrapati dome of the dome of the Rashtrapati Bhavan. Copy is that of the Sanchi Stupa. Right? So this is newly named as Amrit Udyan, the what is earlier called Mughal Gardens. So inside the Rashtrapati Bhavan, we have, which was the earlier Viceregal Lodge, the official residence of the British Viceroy, is now the Rashtrapati Bhavan. There are more than 300 bedrooms here available. Once in a year, it is open for public. So when APJ Abdul Kalam was the president, had visited here as a public. It was open for the public for 1 month. Even now, I think that is there for 1 month in a year. 1 month in a year, it is open for the public, a part of the Rashtrapati Bhavan, to view the garden. So this garden was designed by Sir Edwin Lutyens. Sir Edwin Lutyens was the one who designed this garden, and it was purposely called Mughal Gardens. Why? Because they have used, charbagh style of gardens. Like the Mughals used charbagh style, running water. All this has been used. So aptly it was called Mughal Garden. And according to this architect called K.T. Ravindran, renaming it as Amrit Udyan was wrong because the design is Persian or Mughal style. And it was part of the British appeasement policy. You see, with the British shifted the capital from Calcutta to Delhi in 1911. What was the main reason why the capital was shifted from Calcutta to Delhi? One is, of course, after the Swadeshi movement. Delhi was peaceful, politically peaceful compared to Calcutta. Calcutta was the hub of anti-British activities. Therefore, they shifted it to Delhi. Another reason why it was shifted was this was a long-standing demand of the Muslims. Delhi was the capital of British. Delhi was the capital of India from the Delhi Sultanate times. Then even the Mughals had Delhi as their capital, though briefly it was Agra. The British made Calcutta as their capital, and the Muslims were not happy with it. In the Swadeshi movement, they had told that Bengal will be divided into two provinces. So they had won over the Muslims to their side, promising a separate area for themselves where there will be the majority, East Bengal and Assam. But once the plan was cancelled, the partition plan was cancelled, the Muslims felt disheartened and let down by the British. So to please the Muslims, the British also transferred the capital to Delhi. Another reason for that, for the transfer of capital, is that. Did you get me here, all of you? Hello, clear? So there are six lotus-shaped fountains inside, I believe, charbagh set of gardens. There are 1,120 varieties of roses, nearly 2,500 varieties of dahlia are all found inside the Amrut Udyan. So this is the Parliament House, the South Block, North Block. So who knows, some of you may be working here one day as bureaucrats or as ministers. You never know where destiny takes you. Anyway, all the best for that. We'll come back here. Post-independence architecture. So we have a French architect called Le Corbusier. Le Corbusier was hired by the government of India to design the city of Chandigarh. So you have both revivalist and modernist schools of architecture. Revivalist is reviving the old styles of architecture. Modernist is adopting Western standards, Western methods. But then, the government, both the schools could not break away from the colonial hangover. La Corbusier designed the city of Chandigarh into various sectors. So this is the plan of Chandigarh. Then Laurie Baker is called the architect of the poor. He was responsible for revolutionizing mass housing concept in Kerala. So this is Laurie Baker for you. Locally available material has been used. Concept of filler slab construction. So all these things I've added here. And then some time back, about a year back, a famous architect of India died, B.B. Doshi. He was in the news, Balchandra Doshi, so famous architect, and some articles came in the newspaper. So that resulted in me adding some information about architects of modern India, important buildings designed by these architects. Charles Correa is supposed to be the greatest architect of modern India. He died a few years back. So what are the buildings designed by B.V. Doshi? I have put the list here. Important buildings designed by B.V. Doshi. Then buildings designed by Charles Correa, right? So Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore. So you have that movie, which is that movie? Three Idiots movie. This was shot here in the Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore premises. So that was designed by B.V. Doshi. Then the Charles Correa. These are the buildings designed by him, including the Mahatma Gandhi Memorial Sabarmati Ashram. Then buildings of Achyut P. Kanminde. The Mother Dairy booth, seen all over India, was designed by him, Achyut P. Kanminde. So this is one of the buildings of Laurie Baker. Okay. Then This pendulum was hung in the new Parliament building. This was in the news, so I put a small note on that. For called pendulum. So this is the pendulum inside the new Parliament building. So this is about art and architecture. This is about the topic of art and architecture. It has taken a lot of time for us, but anyway, let us look at the questions. 2019. Building Kalyana Mandapas was a notable feature in the temple construction in the kingdom of Chalukya, Chandela, Rashtrakuta, Vijayanagara. Answer is Vijayanagara. What is Kalyana Mandapas? What are Kalyana Mandapas? You know that marriage takes place where deities are married. Yeah, Jia, that's the right answer. Where deities are married. Be specific. Jia, Satyanarayana. Okay, very good. We'll move on. 2016 question. What is or are common to the two historical places known as Ajanta and Mahabalipuram? What are common for between Ajanta and Mahabalipuram? Both were built in the same period. Now, what is the period of Ajanta? Ajanta, 2nd century BC to 7th century AD. That is the period of Ajanta. What about Mahabalipuram? Mahabalipuram was built by the Pallavas, founded by the Pallavan king Narasimhavarma. So Pallavas ruled between the great Pallavas between 6th century and 9th century AD. So do they belong to the same period? No. Both belong to the same religious denomination. Both belong to the same religious denomination. Ajanta is what? Ajanta, the theme is entirely, Himalata is right. No, she says. Ajanta, Buddhism. Very good. So Ajanta, Buddhism. Mahabalipuram, what about Mahabalipuram? Hinduism. Not Jainism, Mahabalipuram, you have Hinduism, both Shiva and Vishnu. Okay, so that is, the second statement is also wrong. Both have rock cut monuments is correct. We have Mandapas, Rathas in Mahabalipuram, and then in Ajanta we have Viharas and Chaityas. Okay, so therefore the only answer is 3. Only 3 is the answer. Okay, next question, 2015. With reference to art and archaeological history of India, which one of the following was made earliest? Very interesting. Lingaraja temple at Bhubaneswar. Lingaraja temple, Bhubaneswar, 11th century AD. Rock cut elephant at Dhauli. It belongs to the Mauryan period. So 300 BC. Rock cut monuments at Mahabalipuram, 6th century to 9th century AD. Varaha image at Udaygiri, Gupta period, 5th century AD. Now tell me, which is the oldest? Answer is B. Rock cut elephant at Dhauli. Did you get me that? Rock cut elephant at Dhauli is the oldest. It belongs to, I've shown you the picture also. Ashoka addressing the people of Kalinga. Popular art of the Mauryas. It is part of the popular art of the Mauryas. Yaksha of Parkam, Yakshi of at Nagar, the stone, what is that? The Chauri bearer from Didarganj, Bihar, and stone elephant from Dhauli, Orissa. This is part of popular art of the Mauryas. So, revise. Then, a famous, we match the following. A grand image of Buddha's Mahaparinirvana with numerous celestial musicians above and sorrowful figures of his followers below. Ajanta. This is correct. A huge image of Varaha avatar of Vishnu as he rescues goddess Earth from the deep and chaotic waters sculpted on rock. Mount Abu. No. So this is in Udaygiri. Arjuna's parents or descent of the Ganga sculpted on the surface of huge boulders. Mahabalipuram. This is right. So 1 and 3 are correct. Answer is this, 1 and 3. So I have put a picture also, you see here. This is in one of the caves in Ajanta, where people are crying that Buddha has died on the earth, whereas people in the heaven are very happy that Buddha is going to join them. Then, with reference to the cultural history of India, the term Panchayatan refers to what? This is a UPSC question. I have year is missing. It's a UPSC question. Panchayatan is what? A side of temple architecture, construction. Mount Abu, you have Jain temples. Hemalata, you have Jain temples. Vimala Vasahi, okay, Luna Vasahi. These are all Jain temples at Mount Abu. Vimala Vasahi, Luna Vasahi, like that. Then, with reference to Buddhist history, tradition, and culture in India, consider the following pairs. 2014. Which of the pairs given above are correctly matched? Tabu Monastery and Temple Complex, Spiti Valley, Lotsava Lakhang, Zanskar Valley, Alchigompa Complex, Ladakh. So the answer is 1 and 3. 1 and 3 is correct. Lotsava Lakhang is not in the Zanskar Valley. Okay, it is here. So therefore, I have given you the list of all the important monasteries. Go through them. Then we come to the next question. Nagara, Dravida, Vesara. These are three main styles of Indian temple architecture. Then 2013 question, with reference to the history of Indian rock cut architecture, consider the following statements. The canvas at Badami are the oldest surviving rock cut caves in India. Yes or no? The canvas at Badami are the oldest surviving rock cut caves in India. The Barabar rock cut caves were originally made for Ajivikas by Emperor Chandragupta Maurya. At Ellora, caves were made for different faiths. So answer the first statement. Canvas at Badami are the oldest surviving rock cut caves in India. This is wrong. Which is the oldest then? Jia is right. Barabara is the oldest. Barabar rock cut caves. Ashoka dug up 4 caves in the Barabara hills and donated them to Ajivika monks, isn't it? So that is the answer. Barabara rock cut caves were originally made for Ajivikas by Emperor Chandragupta Maurya. Yes or no? Made for Ajivikas by Emperor Chandragupta Maurya. Yes or no? Ashoka. Very good. Dinesh. Not Chandragupta Maurya. At Ellora, caves were made for different faiths. That is right. All the 3 religions are represented at Ellora. Hinduism, Buddhism and Jainism. All the 3 religions. Hinduism, Buddhism and Jainism. So which of the statements are correct? Only 3 is correct. Then some Buddhist rock cut caves are called chaityas, while others are called viharas. What is the difference between the two? Chaitya is a place of worship. Vihara is a dwelling place of monks. So that's the answer. B is the answer. With reference to the cultural history of India, consider the following statement. 2018 question. White marble was used in making Buland Darwaza and Kanka at Fatehpur Sikri. So here Buland Darwaza is made of what? Red sandstone. Therefore, this statement is wrong. Red sandstone and marble were used in making Bara, Imambara and Rumi Darwaza at Lucknow. This is again wrong. How many statements are correct? Both. None of the statements are correct. So here, Bara, Imambara and Rumi Darwaza were made by Asafud-Dawla, I believe. Asafud-Dawla, the Nawab of Awadh, in 1784. So he was the one who made this. It is made of bricks. It is not made of red sandstone and marble. These two structures, Bara Imambara and Rumi Darwaza, is made of bricks. Which of the following are famous sun temples? I have given you the list of sun temples. 2017 question, Arsavalli, Amarkantak, Omkareshwar. Answer is Arsavalli in Andhra. And I have given you the list of sun temples. Along with sun temple Marthand, I have given you important sun temples in India. 12 important sun temples. 2021 question, with reference to Chausat Yogini temple situated near Morena, consider the following statements. It's a circular temple built in the reign of Kachakapata dynasty. It is correct. It's the only circular temple built in India. Wrong. Whenever there's a word only, you generally it is wrong. It is only meant to confuse you. Only circular temple. No, there are many circular temples. It was meant to promote the Vaishnava cult in the region. No, Shakta cult. It was the Shakta cult, not Vaishnava cult. Its design has given rise to a popular belief that it was the inspiration behind the Indian Parliament building. That is correct. So how many statements are correct? 1 and 2. That is 1 and 4. 2 statements are correct. 1 and 4 are correct. Yeah, I've shown you the picture also. In the middle you have a Shiva temple. The Shiva temple at Mitavali in Madhya Pradesh. And then 64, small goddesses temples are there around the main Shiva temple. That's why it's called Chausat Yogini temple. Then 2021 question, historical place and well known for Burjo home, rock cut shrines, not correct. Chandraketugud terracotta art, Ganeshwar copper artifacts. OCP culture. Ganeshwar is OCP culture. It's part of ancient India. We have done this. Chandraketugud in West Bengal. So this was in the news in 2020. In the current affairs section, it was in the news. Chandraketugud. In the excavations, a number of brick terracotta objects have been found. Terracotta art were found at Chandraketugad. Therefore, that statement is correct. That match is correct. Ganeshwar, we have copper artifacts, OCP culture, ochre colored pottery culture at Ganeshwar. No, on the banks of the Ganga Yamuna, we have found a number of graves which contain pots and also grave goods. Copper hoards have been found, hunting and fishing weapons. Weapons of war have been found, made of copper. Hardly any agricultural tools have been found. It's called OCP culture, and one of the sites of the OCP culture is Ganeshwar. So the answer is 2 and 3. Which one of the following statements is correct? Ajanta caves lies in the gorge of the Vagora river. That is correct. Sanchi Stupa, so this answer we have already found. First statement is correct. What about the other statement? Sanchi Stupa lies in the gorge of the Chambal river. No, answer is here. It is near Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. Sanchi Stupa, which was built by Ashoka, originally of bricks, and during the Sunga period, it was enlarged to twice its original size and covered in stone. Pandulena cave shrines lie in the gorge of the Narmada river. No, it's in the Gomal river. Pandulena or Pancha Pandav cave shrines lie in the Gomal river in Maharashtra. Amaravati Stupa lies in the gorge of the Godavari river. No, it's in the Krishna river, on the gorge of the Krishna river near Vijayawada and Guntur. Then match the following: Hoysaleshwara, Karnataka; Trayambakeshwar, Madhya Pradesh. No, Trayambakeshwar is in Maharashtra. Brihadeshwara in Tamil Nadu. Lingaraja in Orissa, not Andhra. So therefore, how many pairs are correctly matched? Only 2 pairs. So Hoysaleshwara, Karnataka; Trayambakeshwar, Maharashtra; Brihadeshwara, Tamil Nadu; Lingaraja, Orissa. With reference to Archaeological Survey of India, consider the following statements. The prime concern of ASI is maintenance of ancient monuments and archaeological sites and remains of national importance. That is correct. It does not regulate the Antiquities and Art Treasure Act of 1972. It does regulate. It does regulate. Therefore, the statement is wrong. Alexander Cunningham was appointed as the first Director General of the ASI in 1870. Once the archaeological department was recreated, Alexander Cunningham was appointed as the first Director General. That is right. So how many statements are correct? 2 are correct. Only 2. Yeah. 1860 it was established. Then 1865 it was dismantled and again recreated in 1870. Okay. So I have given the details here. Okay. Then match the following: Lakshmana Temple, Himachal Pradesh. So this is not correct. It is in Khajuraho. Dashavatara, Madhya Pradesh. This is in UP. Kamakhya in West Bengal, wrong. So this is Dashavatara is wrong. Then Terracotta, UP. Everything is wrong. None of the statements are wrong. Correct. So matches are correct. Lakshmana Temple, Khajuraho. Dashavatara Temple, Deoghad, UP. Kamakhya Temple in Guwahati, Assam, and Terracotta Temple in West Bengal. Then with reference to the Sri Ranganatha Swami Temple, consider the following statements. The temple is dedicated to Lord Vishnu is correct. The temple was constructed in the Nagara style of architecture. That is not correct. It is in the Dravida style. The temple has a unique Sapta Prakaram formation. That is correct. How many statements are correct? 2 are correct. Only 2 are correct. And the answer is given here. So it's a temple town distinguished by its Sapta Prakaram habitation pattern. Consists of 7 concentric rectangular enclosures or prakarams, encircled by massive thick rampart walls. So this is about art and architecture. Okay, this is about art and architecture. We'll come back after a lunch break and continue. We'll do other topics like dance, etc. So this was a very huge topic, art and architecture. I have taken a lot of time for this, but it was justified also because most of the questions come from art and architecture section. We'll discuss other topics after lunch break, dance and literature, etc. Okay, so you carry on. We'll meet at 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock. Sorry, we'll meet at 2 o'clock, 2 p.m. We'll meet at 2 p.m. after lunch. Hello, are you there with me? 2 p.m. Can we disperse? Okay, 2 o'clock. We'll meet at 2 o'clock. Carry on. Sir, one Kalama mosque built by, I don't know. I don't know, Dinesh. Kamala Maula Mosque. Kamal Maula Mosque. Okay. I don't know who built this mosque in Madhya Pradesh, Dinesh. Recent controversy, isn't it? As the indoor bench of the Madhya Pradesh High Court has ordered for survey of that particular temple. It was built by one of the Paramara kings. I forget the name of the temple. What is the name of the temple? It's in the news. Dinesh, I forget the name of the temple. Not able to quickly recollect. But there's a mosque. So there's an adjoining mosque there that is prayed by Muslims on Friday. And Tuesday we have the Hindus worshipping Bhojashala. Yeah, Bhojashala. Thank you. Bhojashala. So Hindus pray on Tuesday. So the Madhya Pradesh High Court has ordered for survey of it. Kamal Malla Mosque, who built it, I have no idea. Must be somebody local, local ruler there. Just find out. So we'll come back here after our lunch break, 2 o'clock. We'll meet at 2 o'clock. Carry on. I'm logging out. We'll meet at 2 o'clock. Indian dance, Indian literature, small topics, factual topics we'll be doing.